It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 take, go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Jamie Little, ESPN. Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Going back to racing, talk about last week and what happened with you and Kyle Busch. And do you think that the things he said over the radio about you and his old Hendrick teammates is something against you guys because you're ex-teammates, or is that just Kyle being competitive?
Well, I mean, I heard rumors, during the week about some stuff that was said on the radio, and we say a lot of things on the radio that I don't pay attention to, things that I say sometimes as well. So I'm not going to put too much into that. The issue that Kyle and I had is really a non-issue. I mean, I raced him, pretty hard when he came up to pass me earlier in the race, and Kyle's aggressive, and he got aggressive back with me when that happened, and so we had a little misunderstanding. Then he went on his way, and he just came up to me at the wrong time after the race, trying to talk to me about it. And so we talked at Pocono, and it's a non-issue. I mean, I think if you just look at the circumstances, I'm sure that he's not happy about the way he left Hendrick, but I would think that he's got to be pretty happy with where he's at now and things that are happening. And so, it's just Kyle being Kyle. If he did say those things, I think that's just a part of his youthfulness and his personality. And that's not anything that I'm really concerned about.
Okay, one more quick question on Joey Logano making his debut. A lot of people, of course, touting him as maybe the next Jeff Gordon. Talk about maybe the pressure that you felt when you came into the series and what he's dealing with maybe this weekend.
I wish I'd had as much success as he has had in a stock car prior to coming in the Busch Series and Cup Series, because I'm sure he'll be there before long. I mean, there's no doubt that so far this kid has lived up to all expectations and has been very impressive. And Joe Gibbs seems to find those guys, and he's going to a great organization. So I look certainly for him to have a lot of success. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him. I'm a little confused because somebody said that his birthday's on Saturday. Okay, I read, or somebody said this Saturday. I was like, well, how's he practicing on Friday then? But that's pretty cool, to be 18 years old and have that kind of future ahead of you, and with that type of organization. So certainly we'll all be watching.
Jeff, Pat Principe from WGAL-TV. Earlier this week, the family that owns Pocono said they are not selling that track. There's been some speculation about this track's future, maybe losing a race or two if that happens. What's your take and your feeling about something like that?
Oh, I mean, I love the Mattiolis, and I'm huge supporters of them. But their racetrack is outdated. It needs a ton of upgrades. I think that the fact that's in the Northeast is a positive thing. But I'm shocked that they've had two races as long as they've had, and I'll be surprised if that stays that way for the future, just because of the way the sport's grown and the markets that we need to be in, the type of races that we put on, at our miles, a mile and a half, and 3/4 mile tracks. So I'm curious as anybody else is to see the future, of that track. And obviously there's a lot going on right now with Kentucky and New Hampshire and with Bruton, and I'm as anxious to see how it all unfolds as anybody else. And when they create the schedule, that's where we'll go.
What about this track, though? Would it upset you if something would happen at this track and they would lose one of their...
Yeah, I love this track. I would hate to see this track, go anywhere. I hadn't heard anything about this track. I thought this track, and I know that it's a group, that owns this track in Nashville and one or two others. So, I think that this is the type of racetracks that we need to this type of track we need to be on. We need to be on high bank, 1 mile, fast, action-filled racetracks running 400 miles. I mean, to me, this is it. I mean, could we pick this track up and locate it in about 3 other locations? That'd be fantastic. But right now, as far as I know, it's here in Dover, Delaware, and I hope it stays.
Any final questions for Jeff? Take one more back here and wrap it up.
Jeff, Claire Beeline, XM Satellite Radio. What's the significance of you extending this contract? You had said the end of the season with your sponsors was going to be really interesting, and then you quietly extended the DuPont deal. What does that mean about your future?
I mean, it basically means that we have full sponsorship till 2010. I mean, I think that people are reading into it a little bit too much. I haven't made any decisions for, what's going to happen one way or the other, past 2010. I mean, I think that, right now I've always been the type of driver that I never look too far ahead. I wanted to secure my position at Hendrick Motorsports, and that's why, I worked as hard to be an equity owner and do a lifetime contract with Hendrick Motorsports, because I knew that that's where I wanted to be as long as I'm driving a race car. The sponsorship thing, that's sort of a separate deal. We got to have sponsorship, and if you extend sponsorships out too far, sometimes you could be losing money, because we don't know the expense of the sport too far in advance. So what you try to do is secure sponsors, companies you want to be aligned with, companies that have been loyal to you, you've been loyal to them, that put the effort into the race team, give you the dollars to do what you need to do to be competitive, and also the marketing behind it. And we have a great package between DuPont and Pepsi, and Nicorette, and Georgia Pacific, Quakers. I mean, we just have a great package, and so all it really means is that we have that great package through 2010, and we really don't want to think past that, because we don't know what the expenses and how much it's going to cost past that. And so it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop driving after 2010. It just means that we won't start negotiating to see what happens past 2010 until probably in the beginning of 2010.
Last question.
Just a quick follow-up. Chris Johnson from NASCAR Scene. Did it ever enter your head, by the time this term of this extension ends, you'll be 39 going on 40? I mean, has being a father changed you at all? Has it changed your outlook? I don't want to use the R word in retirement, but has that changed your thoughts at all?
Well, being a father I'll be 37 this year, makes me realize how old I am, because she's running around all over the place and I can't keep up with her. I need more energy. So that's the only thing is that I look at is as I get older, the wear and tear on your body gets tougher to stay in good physical shape and withstand the heat and the longer races and the longer seasons. And to me, this has been one of the toughest seasons for me physically, just because we've tested so much. I'm a dad, and so I want to spend more time at home, and I'll and I'm constantly doing things for the sponsors. So the whole schedule has been just completely crazy for everybody, and so as I get older and as I want to spend more time with my family, it's made it that much more grueling and tougher this year. And those are the only things that will. I've always said, as long as physically I can be in the car and be competitive and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing it. And even though I want to spend more time at home, I still love coming to the track and being competitive and feel like I'm capable of being competitive out there on the track. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Good luck.